What's up, guys? If you're new to the channel, my name is Khasino, and today we're going over 10 pro tips for new players just starting Tom Clancy's Elite Squad. Stick around to the end of the video because the devs have actually sponsored giveaways for in-game gold. More details on that in a bit, but first, let's get to the tips. Number 10, log in daily. So this one may seem like a no-brainer, but these types of freemium games tend to give away tons of free resources just for logging in. Not only do you have your daily login calendar, so you'll get additional rewards literally the second you log in, but there's new daily objectives that you can do every single day, and you're gonna get really good rewards just for clearing that. But at the end of the day, the best way to look at it is like this. If you were to skip a day and then try to log in the following day and spend cash to try to make up everything that you lost the previous day, we haven't done the full calculation for this game yet, but from what I've observed, it would be at least $50 worth of stuff that you'd be trying to buy back just for missing a day when you could have just logged in and done some of your dailies and stuff like that and maybe put 20 minutes into the game. So logging in every single day is definitely the fast track to getting ahead. Number 9, invest in good characters. So on this one, I do plan on eventually making my own tier list for this game, but as I'm pretty new, I'm going to defer to the players that have been playing for several months during the soft launch. So I've found 2 tier lists floating around so far, one by Void H and one by DeltaTwoZero, and I'll put a link to both of those in the video description below. So there is no official ranking of the characters, but as you can see when you look at the 2 tier lists, there's quite a bit of overlap. Generally speaking, they tend to agree on who the better characters are and who the worst characters are. For example, it seems to be a pretty common consensus that Doc is just an all-around incredible character. So make sure that you're referencing these tier lists because there are a lot of characters that fill the same function and they're not necessarily too difficult to get one or the other, and one might be just considerably better. So make sure that you're putting your resources into the better characters. Number 8, join a good guild. So, as is always the case with games like this, if you're serious about your progression, one of the most useful things you can do is join a group of like-minded people who are also serious about getting good at the game. In particular, the main advantages from a good guild are, firstly, you can request intel, and so if you have a lot of people who are very active and paying attention, then there will be a lot of people granting intel for their guildmates, so you guys can all rank up your characters faster, and more importantly, territory war. That is currently the main guild activity, and from what I've heard from a lot of the endgame players in the game, territory war is just the single most rewarding game mode in the game, and it's something that you have to do as a guild. So if you have a group of serious like-minded people around you, you can do better in territory war, you can get better rewards, you can get stronger, faster. Simple. Number 7, don't waste energy. So again, this may sound like a no-brainer, but a lot of people don't really think about it. They just figure, oh, I'll log in, once in the morning and then maybe once at night, something like that. But as far as energy, campaigns in particular are some of the best and only sources for XP for actually leveling your account. So you want to make sure that you're not wasting energy by being at your cap for energy, because if you're not at the cap, then you'll be generating additional energy for free. So definitely don't let it go to waste, otherwise you'll either have to buy energy or you'll just miss out on being able to do additional campaign nodes for that day, and that will slow how fast you can level up. So definitely log in, even if it's just to do some auto wins on a node to make sure that you spend your energy and stay below that cap. Number 6, learn the status effects. So one thing that I noticed is pretty common when you start these types of games is there's actually not a ton of quality information on how exactly the combat works. You're kind of watching some of the combat happen and you're clicking buttons, but you're not entirely aware of everything that's going on. You're seeing stuff flying back and forth and symbols popping up over people's heads, but you're just like, well, that's a red symbol, it's probably bad, that guy died, that's gotta be good, right? So I went ahead and made a handy dandy status effects infographic guide for you guys. If there are other aspects of the game that you want me to make an infographic on, let me know in the comments below. But I started off with the status effects because some of them seem like common sense, like, oh, bleeding, a character is going to take damage over time. Common sense. But what a lot of people don't know is that it also reduces healing by half. So if someone's bleeding, you want to make sure you don't use a healing ability on them. There's a lot of stuff like that that most people are not aware of. So I'll have this infographic up on the screen here, and I will have a link to download that in the video description below. And of course, it's on my Discord server, which anyone is welcome to join. That's discord.gg/Khasino. Number 5, focus the right enemies. So again, this one might seem like a bit of a no-brainer, but a lot of people just kind of jump in and whoever's kind of low on health tends to be who they target. However, you have to pay attention to what the abilities are on the enemy team. For example, you might have a character that gets particularly tanky or high resistance as they get low or when they have a certain ability going, and you don't want to use an ability that's going to focus fire on someone while they have a big defense boost. You don't want to be hitting a tank while there's a healer alive, because if a healer can keep topping off the tank's health, you're wasting a ton of time trying to bring down a unit when you could just take out the healer nice and quick. Then you've removed that healer's offense, and then you can focus on the tank and bring them down quicker. So definitely pay attention to which characters you're actually up against in a given match, and make sure that you're taking out the ones that are the biggest threat to your team. Number 4, prioritize territory war. So I don't have much footage of territory war on account of the fact that I'm pretty new to this game and I don't have an entire alliance full of at least level 20 players yet. So I will get you guys that footage soon, but from what I can gather from every endgame player that I've talked about, they pretty much all refer to territory war as the most valuable game mode in terms of rewards that you get versus investment. So the sooner you can get into territory war, the sooner you can get those top tier rewards. And again, from what I've gathered, that's where you really want to focus your efforts and make sure that you're doing as well as you possibly can, because apparently that's where the good rewards are. So I'll have more details on that in the future, but yeah. And this also harkens back to one of the earlier tips, which was to join a good guild. The sooner you enter a good guild, the sooner you can jump into territory war. Number 3, choose optimal combat orders. So once you hit level 22 in the game, you get the ability to upgrade your combat orders, and then they come with a left and a right variant. So it's actually important to pay attention to which version of the combat order that you want to use. For example, with Airstrike, the first version on the left will, in addition to doing damage to everyone in the area, you can use it to root all the enemies for a few seconds, and it'll do percentage health damage. Or alternatively, you can have it blind everyone in the area for 3 seconds. So you want to pay attention based on the stage specifically. If the enemies are just putting out a ton of damage, it'll be better to blind them. Whereas if they're not putting out a crazy amount of damage, but they keep moving around and going under cover and they're not grouping up, then it might be better to root them so that you can focus them down if you have an AoE heavy team. Number 2, plan for events. So on the screen, I put up an event calendar that the devs publish on the official Discord for the game. And this is pretty good for helping you plan around basically what you want to accomplish going forward. So if you remember in one of the previous tips, we talked about investing in good characters. So if you can see the upcoming schedule of events and you know that there's a character coming up in a week or two, either in Arena where you can make a decent push and be able to unlock them, or they have a legendary event coming around. If you see that an upcoming character is someone that does the same function as a character you have, only better, and you'll be able to get them in a short amount of time, you can save resources and not necessarily invest in the current character that you normally would, because you're going to wait and get the new character from the event, and then you'll be able to power them up significantly as soon as you get them. So definitely use this event schedule to kind of plan your path ahead and make sure you're taking the smartest route forward. Of course, I will put a link to that as well in the video description below. All right, we are about to get to the number 1 pro tip that I can give you guys, but before we do that, I wanted to basically do an honorable mention. This is a whale-only pro tip, so if you're not a blubbery boy, you can skip this one, but if you like to splash a little cash on your mobile games, here's an additional tip for you guys out there, and that is buy any offer with Doc in it. So I've talked to quite a few of the late game players in this game, and they pretty much all universally agree that Doc is just the best character in the game right now. His main thing is that he's a healer. However, once per match, he will revive the first ally that dies, even if it's himself. So it essentially makes any match that you play from using a 5-man team to using a 6-man team. And you can see where that's obviously pretty strong. So if you're trying to spend a little bit and get some really good bang for your buck, that is my advice to the whales out there. Grab an offer with Doc in it. And finally, number 1, use quality code names. It is of paramount importance that you have really good code names for your characters. So in particular, I'm going to share some of mine with you. So we've got Doc, aka Big Doc Energy. We've got Montaigne, aka Unbreakable Baguette. We got Dokkaebi, aka Hello Critty. Ning Wang, aka Big Wang. Got Buck, aka Stripper Ticket. Got Midas, aka Touchy Boy. Megan, aka The Meg. Isaac Briggs, aka Jax from Mortal Kombat. Ryan, aka Ryan. We got Red Fang. You know what? Forgetting having a nickname for Red Fang real quick, let's just point out, Red Fang is wearing one of the sniper suits that makes you blend in with foliage. However, Red Fang wears this everywhere. You can be in the middle of a match that's taking place in the middle of a city and Red Fang is running around dressed like a ficus bush. No nickname, get out of here. G1U, aka Taskmaster, and we'll end on Masad, aka Hans Gruber from Die Hard. So if you guys enjoyed the nicknames, I will come up with more nicknames for more characters as I unlock them. Just wanted to share a few of the good ones that we've been using with you guys, but yeah. So on that note, the devs are sponsoring a gold giveaway on this video. So how you'll enter is leave a comment below and let me know your best code names, and obviously let me know which character you're referring to with the code name. And the 5 people that make me laugh the hardest are gonna win 400 gold in-game. And if there's a really good 6th one, I might just cover that person out of pocket. So let me know your best code names in the comments below, and that's how you guys can enter. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for checking out the video. And if there's a particular topic that you want me to cover in future Tom Clancy's Elite Squad videos, let me know in the comments. Or anyone is welcome to join my Discord server. We have a channel set up for Tom Clancy's Elite Squad, so you can hop on there and just at me. And if you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them in a timely fashion. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for checking out the video, and I will see you guys real soon. Until then, peace!